Hi, my name is Sarah Shamus, Marketing Manager for Americas at Dormer Pramet. Today we're going to talk about sustainability, environmental safety, and the importance of quality at Dormer Pramet. We have a very special guest with us today, Shib Banerjee. He is the Global Head of Sustainability and Quality, Environmental, Health, and Safety. That's quite a long title, Shib, but welcome. Can you
Thank you,
share with
Tara.
us where? Yeah, can you share with us where you're from? Because I know it's really late your time.
Yeah, so I do want to start with a good morning and good evening because I'm located far east of India. So right now I am just at 10:30 p.m. But looking at the opportunity of conversation, I think it's worth having this chat with you. Thank you for inviting me, Tara, and I'm looking for a wonderful conversation between us. As you rightly mentioned, it's quite a heavy and massive title, and so goes with our line of work. So it covers multiple aspects that goes as an enabler to the organization. So that's why quality, health and safety, environment, sustainability, everything comes together under one umbrella and becomes one of the uh, uh, key business enablers and the pillars of driving business growth. So I'm going to talk more about this as we progress in the conversation, but yeah, once again, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So before we get into all the work talk, let's talk a little bit about your interests and hobbies, some of the things that you really enjoy, outside of work.
I have a couple of hobbies, but recently, one of the interests that has excited me is to learn different cultures within my own country. So, if you look at the landscape of India, it is geographically and culturally very diverse. We have almost 20 plus national languages. We have multiple cultures from north to south to east and west. So whenever I get time, I travel with my family. I try to dwell at least for a week in a different state, in a different province, try to understand their culture, their languages. And this is something that is enriching me, I would say, in terms of learning about my own country. Of late I have developed this knack of knowing different cultures of our country. But this is something which will go on in the long run as well, because I do see there's a lot of things to learn about my own country. So that's one thing that is keeping me excited, as one of my leisure activities, I would say.
Thanks for sharing that with us. So can you share with us a little bit about, your career path, where you are now, and your experience at Dormer Pramet so far?
Sure.
Oh, and we got a
um,
comment. Indian food is delicious. The spicier, the better.
oh, I know. Please be my guest whenever you get some time to travel to India. So yeah, Tara. My journey is almost like 15 years plus. I started back in 2009. In in academics, I was an electrical and instrumentation engineer. I started my career working with a company where I was responsible for commissioning, planning, and then bringing the factory into operations, right from installation of large scale substations, electrical panels, and programmable logic controller, kind of robotics into the manufacturing sector. But while working with those companies, I saw that there was an opportunity where I can volunteer myself to bring a synergy between environment, health, and safety, and our production targets. So initially, when I started managing shifts in a continuous process plant, I felt that the importance of safety and production were not going hand in hand. And this was not the scenario of one of its kind, but this was quite prevalent in many manufacturing sectors. Initially, the culture always focuses on getting the right yield from the production units, and then thinking about meeting the requirements of safety. But I felt that just only meeting the requirements of safety, or having some administrative controls, or giving personal protective equipments to the workmen will not solve the problem. We need to bring a proactive safety culture in the factories. So working with this factory, I volunteered and I spearheaded a couple of projects in health and safety. One of them, notably, I can talk about was Project Suraksha. Suraksha is an Indian term; it's a Hindi term, and it means safety and security of the people. So that is one project I can talk about, where I kind of connected the different dots into production, supply chain, distribution, as well as impacting the customer experience. So kind of doing a stream mapping of our entire process, and identifying where all we can bring in a development of our safety culture. So that was the first thing I volunteered with, and with that I started my interest into this space of EHS and sustainability. And this activities and this projects helped me a lot in learning the key attributes into this space. So when I further progressed in my career, I took over independent roles into EHS and sustainability. I was in charge of two factories, where I was responsible for getting the statutory compliances and all the requirements of EHS and sustainability. Then followed by I worked with companies like Nestle and Danone, which were at a global scale. Although I was responsible for India and South Asia, portfolios. From there, I worked with e-commerce sector into Amazon. I started my journey with Amazon as a program manager for road safety and AMZL. AMZL is specifically talking about middle mile and the last mile business. From there, I moved into global roles in Amazon. I went into the compliance operations role, where I played the role of a team manager, where I managed program managers and subject matter experts. And from there, I moved into the global WHS, that is the workplace health and safety role, where I led a team of workplace health and safety program managers, subject matter experts in various sectors. I also led a team of continuous improvement and Six Sigma project. So that was my last stint with Amazon, and from there I embarked into this role in Dormer Pramet. Well, I'm very excited, and I'm just completing my 3 months with Dormer Pramet. I see a lot of synergy, a lot of excitement, a lot of commitment from the leadership in terms of health and safety, sustainability, and quality. So, looking forward to another great journey with Dormer Pramet and Sandvik.
Full, career so far and a very bright future. So we're very, very lucky to have you. No doubt about it.
Thank you.
Uh,
Likewise.
so before we jump into the segments, I have a little joke for you. So
Okay.
how are you good at jokes, Shib? I hope my delivery is good. So how do drill bits communicate?
Uh, I don't know the answer, to be honest.
Uh, they just know how to drill the right points in a conversation. Sorry, it's a manufacturing joke, so we got to throw some jokes out here to kind of break up the conversation. So hopefully, everyone who's in the audience
Great.
thought that was funny. So, okay, so let's talk about, environment and sustainability, shift and growth. So, from your perspective, Shib, what is the definition of sustainability shift in the context of manufacturing?
I think in order to talk about the sustainability shift, I think I have to take one step backward and but also understand how important this is for us, for manufacturing, for everyone into this space. So you know if you look at how our society is kind of interacting with each other, so we have a combination of everything in our society. We do have the manufacturing plants, delivering different kinds of products. We do have the impacts of those productions, right? And the impact that we do on the environment, the impact that we do on the society, are are long-term impacts. It has a long-term impact in terms of degrading the environment, or kind of demotivating the society in some sectors. But if we look at how the manufacturing setup runs, I think we should always think about having a production which has minimum impact on the environment and the society. And I think as a company, as a Dormer Pramet, we are on the right track. We have taken very prompt decision in our commitment towards environment and sustainability. In the manufacturing sector, I'm sure that we will be able to mark our progress as one of the leading sustainability and environment champion. Right now, the philosophy that runs in the back of my mind is that we do not have a planet B. Whatever we do here, we do leave our footprints. We do leave everything for our future generations. So having the right mindset to produce and not at the cost of the environment and society is very important. And as a Dormer Pramet, leader of global health and safety and sustainability, I do take the pride in saying that Sandvik as well as Dormer Pramet have taken very prompt decisions in uh, in cultivating the idea of sustainability shift in our production. So this essentially means that whatever we produce, whatever we deliver to the customers, should have minimum impact on the environment and society at large. Whatever we do in our future, we should consider sustainability and environment in our decision making, our investments, our acquisitions, our mergers. Everything gets tied up with our sustainability shift culture. So in a nutshell, I would say having a sustainability shift mindset is what we are looking for here.
No, thank you. Very, very well said. So when we look at, the health and safety then, and some of those challenges in manufacturing, can you kind of talk about those specific challenges encountered by Dormer Pramet?
So when it comes to health and safety in manufacturing, I think um, let me start with saying that in manufacturing we can create safe systems, but it is very difficult to own safe behavior. So there's a great saying that safety, health and safety starts with you. That means us taking the onus and ownership of ensuring safety of our people, of ourselves, as well as of the environment and the society. So taking safety as a culture is very important. And to some extent, manufacturing sector, I think needs to progress a lot into developing a safety culture. So we can make this system safe by design, but it is very difficult and challenging to influence people's behavior. It is time taking, and it is quite challenging for anyone into the operations to influence people's behavior towards safety. So I think in Dormer Pramet also, when I speak about the long-term 3-year strategic roadmap that we are kind of working on currently, I will highlight on how we are planning to elevate or advance the safety culture of our organization. So this will be one of the focus areas and strategic priorities for us for the next 3 years. We have done a lot in health and safety. We have progressed on reducing our KPIs in safety, like the lost time injury or the total injuries that we have. We have uh, done a lot of progress, a lot of improvement in those numbers. But we feel that there is a scope of opportunity that we can will be able to work on, is to advance our safety culture. Safety culture is directly proportional to the number of incidents that we have. So once we have a proactive, interdependent, and independent safety culture, it will gradually decline the number of injuries we are having at the production units. And also, this will ensure a sustainable zero harm environment for our people, which is the most important. It is our North Star goal in health and safety. And it is very important that we ensure and we sustain a zero harm environment.
Agreed. We do need to be, self-aware and cognitive of our surroundings so that we're safe and we avoid any type of injuries for sure. So important.
Yeah, I mean, caring about each other is what we are looking for. We, as I say, like Doma Pramet as an organization, have done a lot of initiatives in the field of health and safety. But we at the same time see that there is an opportunity to bring a dedicated focus on elevating our safety culture. And this is one of the marker that will ensure that we sustain a zero harm environment for our people. uh, building safe environment, building systems safe by design is very important, no doubt. But along with that, if we focus on upliftment of the safety culture, I think then a combination of these two, one, the infrastructure, and then the culture, with these two factors, we'll be able to reach a state of zero harm.
That's fantastic. That's good to hear. So I know we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and maybe you can get a glass of water because I know you've been talking a lot. I've been asking you a lot of questions and some
Sure.
really good insights and feedback you've been providing us. But I have one more joke. Let's see if you can get this one. So, what is the
Okay.
drill's favorite sport? What is the drill's favorite sport?
Well, I think I can give it a guess, because I think you know drill makes a hole in the target, right? So
Correct.
probably it can be golf, if I'm not wrong.
Very good, Shib. Very good. Now, do you play golf on your spare time at all, or no?
Not really.
Okay.
I, I do have an interest in learning, playing golf, but not yet started, very honestly.
Okay. Well, you got the joke, so well done. Well
Great.
done.
Okay, brownie points for me.
Brownie points for Shib. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's take a quick break. We can get a glass of water, and we'll be right back.
Sure, look forward. Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome. All right, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that short video, and don't forget, we'll be at IMTS this year, so don't forget to come find us. We'd love to talk to you. So, Shib, are you there?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm back as well.
awesome, awesome. So let's talk about quality, the quality management system. Can you explain the importance of having a robust quality management system in place at Dormer Pramet, and how does that in ensuring a quality management system?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about how we are planning to have a robust quality management system. So at present, in Dormer Pramet, we do have a quality initiative at the production units. Each of the PUs are having their own quality management team who ensures that the right quality is delivered to the customers. What we are currently working on is to bring all these initiatives in one umbrella and kind of building a uniform and standardized quality management manual for Dharma Primate. This has a significant role to play because the first and foremost thing that this will do is to bring a standardization, bring a uniformity in our approach, and also how we deal with quality issues at the customer ends. If we look at how this impacts overall in a manufacturing sector, we have to look into the COPQ, which is like a cost of poor quality. Cost of poor quality impacts every industry, including the manufacturing industry, and Dormer Pramet is not an exception to it. So I think building a robust quality management system is of utmost significance for us. We do have a compliance mechanism at the production units, and we know that the production units are having the IMS or the ISO 9000 certifications. But at the same time, bringing all the initiatives together at one place and driving it together to have first of all, we want to build a culture of zero defects, zero waste. I think that is one thing that we want to drive centrally, not really getting into the day to day quality activities of the production units, but more of building overarching guidance to the company, how we should run, or we should envision quality in Dharma Pramet. So by robust QMS system, I do mean that having a uniform and standardized approach, and bringing a uniform direction, or sending a uniform direction to our production units, to our sales units, and more of connecting the dots, like how the customer complaints are raised, how we are doing the resolution of those customer complaints, and how we are ensuring that similar kind of customer complaints or quality issues are not repeated in our system. Kind of having a strategy of doing a horizontal deployment of our corrective and preventive action. Let's say there was a customer issue and in one of our production unit in India, and a similar quality issue can appear in other networks as well. So what we have done, what corrective action we have taken here can be replicated well in advance in those value chain, and that can help reduce the future reputation of quality issues at the customer ends. So I think a holistic approach, structured and organized, and a uniform approach is what we mean by a quality management system here.
So also when we talk about lean, right? So lean is kind of like this, buzzword that a lot of manufacturing companies are starting to, evolve to. So can you explain, what lean manufacturing means and why is it important, in the manufacturing industry in general as a whole?
So if we talk about lean, I think the most important thing that lean brings with it with is a considerable reduction in the amount of wastages that we produce. So let me do a double click on waste. So waste, as we see in a manufacturing setup, it ranges from defects to overproduction, non-utilized bandwidths, transportation, inventory, extra processing, less processing. So there are 7 or 8 types of wastages in our entire value chain. So I think the approach of lean primarily boils down towards reducing these wastages, and this has a direct and indirect impact on our productivity. Our overall efficiency, our productivity is highly impacted by lean methodology. So I think in the manufacturing sector, lean is of utmost importance and very futuristic, I would say. If we look at how we want to progress in future, keeping into consideration how we want to be a energy efficient organization, how we want to be a safe organization. I think lean connects all these dots, and it overall impacts the productivity and the efficiency of the organization. So in the manufacturing setup, I think lean is very important. It will not only reduce the waste, but it will also help us visualize the value stream map of our process. So value stream map essentially talks about the different process steps that we have, what kind of wastages we are producing from each of the steps, and how we can better manage the workflow, bring efficiency, better smoothen our operations. So that is how lean can be one of the enablers in our future operations. So not only for manufacturing, I think for other industries also, lean is something that is very futuristic. If we look at in Dormer Pramet, we do have lean mindset as one of our strategic focus areas, and along with sustainability shift. So I think these two are quite interconnected, and boils down towards uh, you know being one of the leaders in the mid market segment. So I think lean, sustainability, everything going to be interconnected in future. So yeah, overall, it is one of the key enablers for manufacturing sector in future.
Awesome. So if we can, and I know you mentioned a couple times now, the zero defect. You talked about it a few times in your reflections and answers. Um, I guess from a personal perspective, what excites you most about working towards these goals at Dormer Pramet when it comes to zero?
I think my excitement or my interest is more towards bringing a business excellence, I would say, and couple of components that can help us excel in business. Namely, lean is one of them. Having a zero defect culture. I mean, producing the right product at the first go. This is a very north star goal, very long term goal, but I think we should have this vision of having a zero defect culture along with zero harm. which essentially revolves around health and safety. So I think the interconnectivity between these pillars is what is very exciting, and all of this leads to the business excellence for the organization. um, the way we want to be a leader in the mid market segment is something backed up by these components, namely, as I said, lean, zero harm, zero waste, net zero, and zero defect. So many zeros are there, but all of these zeros are actually going to yield a greater business for our customers. We will be valued more in our segment. Number one. Number two, we will be valued in terms of how we are taking care of our environment, our society, being one of the sustainability leaders in our segment. So I think this is something which I am very passionate about. When I took over this role in Dormer Pramet, this is one thing that I was really looking forward, where I can build something from the scratch, develop the roadmap, the strategy, and then transform my passion into action, which is precisely what I'm looking for in this journey.
Amazing, amazing. I can sense your passion. I really can. I can sense your passion in this topic for sure. So let's kind of pivot to integration of sustainability, safety, and quality, and how those are all kind of interconnected. So how is sustainable growth, environmental safety, and product quality interconnected at Dormer Promet? And what are the benefits of integrating these goals into like a cohesive strategy?
I think, Tara, if you look at how we are trying to build a strategy around sustainability and QEHS, we have kind of divided this entire portfolio. Since at the beginning of the chat, we did realize that this is a kind of massive portfolio to manage. So how we are trying to focus on is to have strategic priorities for each of the segments. We have primarily divided the entire strategy of next 3 years into health and safety, environment, sustainability, and quality. So each of these pillars are interconnected with each other, because if I go deeper into the strategic priorities and the focus areas, you will realize that management processes, continuous improvement, having a risk management approach, and then engagement between the employees through the strategic focus areas are kind of combining factors between all these three pillars. So overall, the overarching strategy is divided, but when we see it as a combination, we do see that each of these three pillars are leading to a consolidated journey of zero harm, zero waste, net zero, and zero defect. So I think one pillar is complementing the other, and that's how we are going to take all these three pillars together and be in the journey of excellence.
No, thank you. That was great insights for sure. Do you, just from your own personal view on balancing these parties in manufacturing, do you have any, last words you want to say about it, or any even, examples of successful integration of sustainability, safety, and quality at Dormer Promet? If you have, example or two, or maybe not, just was throwing it out there.
I think for the larger audience, I think one of the thing that I really endorse from Dormer Pramet is how we have defined the net zero targets for us, and then the best practices that we have taken up is working backward from the target. If we want to become a net zero by 2050, what is the GHG emission targets we should have by 2030? or by 2025. How much reduction we want to ensure in scope 1 and scope 2 is very important. And I think for the larger audience from different organizations, having this target set as quick as possible, and then having the working done in terms of your business numbers and how the production and overall business is impacting the environment. I think this data and the benchmarking and the target setting is very important. And I think this is one of the advice that I would like to impart to the larger audience. And apart from that, one more thing that comes in my mind is how digital transformation is helping the sustainability initiatives for many companies. At Dormer Pramet, we are also exploring the possibility of the blockchain or similar kind of technology, which can help us in manage our product life cycle better. We are still exploring, but I think for a larger manufacturing sector, this can be one of the factors we should be looking forward to. I think apart from this, you know, having a culture of sustainability, having a culture of safety for the people, and having a culture for quality is going to be very crucial. If we try just to meet the regulation, just to meet the compliances, I think that will not make us a leader into this space. Uh, Unless we impart all of these elements into our core culture of the organization, we will not be sustain what we promise to the environment and society. So uh, you know my approach is more towards building the culture beyond being only compliant to the regulations. I hope I have answered your question, Tara.
You you did very well. Thank you so much. And then we're almost at the end of our LinkedIn Live, but I just wanted to, throw it out there. If you have any other closing remarks or any thoughts on the future of Dormer Pramet and its commitment to sustainability, safety, and quality, and heard that right throughout the last 30 minutes or so. And again, like I said, I can tell that you're very passionate about this topic, without a doubt. So I really appreciate your transparency and openness and honesty throughout this uh, interview, but I hope it didn't feel like an interview.
No, the
All
jokes were
these
awesome, Tara,
questions.
I must say.
Yes, yes. So yeah, but having said that, if there isn't anything else you want to mention, again, thank you so much for your insights and your time. To learn more about Dormer Pramet, follow us up on our social media sites, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And again, don't forget to tune in to our next episode coming up in a couple of weeks. Also, as you saw in the short video clip, we also will be attending IMTS this year. So please be on the lookout for our booth. And like I said, there'll be more of these LinkedIn Lives to come between now and IMTS time. So anything else you want to say from your end, Shib?
No, I think it was a great conversation, Tara, and thank you once again for inviting me. But what I am, looking forward is to kind of signing off our long-term 3-year, strategic roadmap on health and safety, environment, sustainability, and quality. And once we decide on the focus areas and the strategic priorities, um, figure out each of the KPIs and the goals for 3 pillars, distinctive pillars, I think we can have a follow-up session and make the audience aware about what we have decided so far, what we envision for the next couple of years, and how we are going to be a net zero organization in the longer run. So maybe a follow-up session with the audience will be helpful and insightful
Yeah,
for them.
Absolutely. Yes. And we'll come up with some, I'll come up with some better jokes too. So
Oh,
we'll throw some more jokes in
I'm
there as
sure.
well. No,
Sure.
thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Shib. We really appreciate your time, and it's late your time, so you're probably, ready to call it a day. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, thanks again. Enjoy your evening, and thank you everyone who tuned in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.